Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for January of 2025. You have this To the Sea card and this No Place Like Home card, which, that's kind of like conflicting energy, right? It's like some of you, it's like maybe you want to be home, but also maybe you feel this pull or this like call to adventure with that To the Sea card. The To the Sea card literally, kind of represents stepping out into the unknown or, going on an adventure in the unknown. So a lot of you, it's like you kind of maybe feel pulled between the two things. Like, do I go on this adventure or do I not go on this adventure? And that's definitely something that we're going to have to look into here in this reading. You have the Nine of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is, of course, a card of perseverance, which is basically your middle name, Capricorn. And Nine of Wands is also the card that says, don't give up. It's also the wounded warrior. So the Nine of Wands, he's been through a bunch of battles, and now he's on his last wand, and he's going to give something like one last try. And so I definitely get that energy for you, Capricorn, where at the beginning of the year, you could be kind of like feeling like you want to give something just like one last, college effort, right? One last try. And I would definitely encourage you to do that, especially with the King and Queen of Wands, because these two cards together would represent, being bold, being courageous. I don't really feel like this is love. I feel like this is more an energy that you should be embracing, these two cards, the King and Queen of Wands, because the King of Wands is a little bit of a visionary. He kind of can see opportunities in the future in some ways. But again, he has to be bold and assertive, and he really has to take control, and he really has to kind of go for it, right? And the same thing with the Queen of Wands. She also, the King of Wands is more a card of being bold and assertive, which tells me that you have it inside of you, Capricorn, to be bold and assertive. Like, you have that energy about you. And the Queen of Wands, she needs to be bold and assertive. Like, she really needs to kind of like put in the effort to be those things. So, I kind of feel like a little bit of both going on here. The Queen of Wands, she follows the sun. She has a sunflower right here, and so she moves towards things that make her feel good. She moves towards her happiness or her joy. She's a card of learning as she goes as well. So she has to learn as she goes. She doesn't know what is going to happen on her journey, and she's the only Wands Court card that doesn't have salamanders on her cloak. So she has no clue what's going to happen if she takes action on her journey. But she has to basically do it anyway. And so I think for a lot of you, it's definitely time for you to like take action or start moving in a direction with the Queen of Wands. And, this could be just something that you feel pulled towards, or, you feel like your intuition is guiding you towards it. And it's also something that you probably don't know a lot about because, again, you would have to learn. So this is probably a journey that would require like education or learning as you go. And again, with the No Place Like Home card, maybe you are in a little bit of a comfort zone. And I think that those two cards are saying like, have the courage to take the risk, whatever it is. And you end with the World card, which is an accomplishment. So, I would definitely do it. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Justice card. I kind of feel like you're weighing your options, like maybe you're doing a pros and cons list. If this is like starting a business, for example, you could be saying like, these are the pros and cons of me doing this business. If this is you like creating a change in your career or your job, same thing. I think you're kind of maybe just kind of like weighing up your options here. I don't really get a lot of energy off of this card for you. I think you're just, like I said, I think you're just kind of like going back and forth. Like, if I put my energy into this, like, is it going to grow? Is it going to change my life? All those questions are kind of popping into my head. I guess like the good thing about this would be that you are coming from a neutral perspective. The whole point of the Justice card is that the Justice person here is in the middle of the card, and they're taking like a neutral stance. They're looking at something. They're not looking at as good or bad. They're just kind of saying like, well, these are the options, right? With the King of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. Three of Swords has come up a lot in these beginning of the year readings for January. And so Three of Swords is about forgiveness, and we have to remove those swords from our heart so that we can move forward. I kind of feel like this is saying, this could just be you forgiving yourself for not doing things, or, it could even just represent healing in general. And I think healing in general would be a good idea with the Three of Swords. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Four Swords, more healing. The Four Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. The Four Swords is also like hoping and praying for blessings. There's a person in this stained glass window here blessing another person. And so some of you, it's like you're clearly wishing for something. I mean, we have the star in your next row. So I think a lot of you, kind of like have these hopes, wishes, dreams. And you could be like praying for those things right now. Next, I already forgot what we're doing. We are looking at what you need to do to have the best start to the year in January of 2025. So these are actions that you can take. You have this toxic triggers card. It says, find the strength to remove yourself from toxic influences in your life. Three of Swords. And, interestingly enough, again, pretty much everyone has had a very similar message to this. Not exactly the same, but similar. So, it could just be a collective energy. You have this deeply rooted in love card. It says something is emerging from the depths of your most intimate desires. So a lot of you could really be following your heart at this time as well. Like your heart could be telling you to, get a new job or start that business or to really, go for something that you're trying to accomplish. And of course, I would definitely encourage you to do that. You have the Star, the Death card, and the Eight of Swords. The Star can definitely represent healing from toxic things. The Star is a card of renewal. And so you could be like removing toxic habits, toxic people, toxic places. And I think that would be a great thing for you to do. If I were a Capricorn, and I basically am, I have 900 planets and asteroids in Capricorn in my chart, I would be picking one thing to accomplish at the beginning of the year here, and I would make it happen. I think I said the same thing to your opposite sign, Cancer. If you have Cancer in your chart, that might be a reading you want to watch because it was very, that advice was very similar. But what I would say is the Star is about having a North Star. It is about having that one big goal, wish, or dream that you really want to accomplish and just really focusing on it and really making it happen. We have a lot of imagery here in your reading that would also represent asking the universe for something. She's pouring this water into the pool of universal consciousness right here, and that water is sending out these ripples. And so this can kind of represent, the vibrations we send out to the universe. And so I would also focus on, like, what are you aligning to? And I would make sure that you are in alignment with the Star card. You have the Death card. The Death card can just represent a transformation or a change, and it can just say that whatever you think needs to be changed could be undergoing a transformation or a change. So, again, this is a pretty easy action that you can take, and I would say anything that needs to be changed, I would change it with the Death card. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. I do think you need to set yourself free. I mean, you have that no place like home and then that to the sea card. And so the no place like home card could definitely be a little bit of a comfort zone. And the Eight of Swords could be saying, like, you need to remove yourself from a comfort zone or you need to set yourself free from a comfort zone. And I definitely feel that would be a good activity or a good thing for you to do with this Eight of Swords. Again, the trick with the Eight of Swords is we just need to realize that there are many ways that we can accomplish something, or there are many ways that we can overcome an obstacle. And if you do that, then you'll be successful. With the Star card, you have the Six of Cups. I think a lot of people feel this way right now. It's like why can't things work the way they used to? I think that, maybe certain things worked during COVID or, since like 2020 in your life. And now things have changed. And I think a lot I just get this energy where people are maybe a little bit stuck in wishing that things would work the way they used to. But, I think if we kind of evolve and grow, then we'll move past this energy and we will be fine. With the Death card, you have two cards. You have the Five of Pentacles and the Chariot. Yeah, I think you need to believe that you can do something. Five of Pentacles is a card of calling attention to your weaknesses when you need to focus on your strengths. And the Chariot is about really going for something, which I feel like I say go for it in like every single one of your readings now. And so there's, the Chariot is all about like really taking control. He is a card of hard control, taking control of those reins and making something happen. So if there's a change that you want to make, or if there's something you want and you have to make a change to get it, then the Chariot would be a victory. But the Chariot would say that you have to really make something happen. You really have to, go for it. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Tower. The Tower could just also be a change. Again, I don't look at the Tower as a bad card. And, this row represents what you can do to have the best start to the year. So it's, really it's not meant to be bad or anything. It's just what changes can you make? And the tower can represent accepting reality. So the whole point of the tower is that they've been trying to protect themselves by building these walls up around them, but they built them too high, and now they're being forced down to reality. So the whole point of the tower is that we have to, in whatever area of your life you're trying to improve, we just have to look at it from reality and not with like rose-colored glasses. We have to look at things as they actually are. And so again, I think that is another thing or activity that you could do that would help you progress. Next, we're going to look at the challenges that you could be facing and how you can overcome those challenges more quickly at the beginning of the year here. You have this ego card and this purpose card. Some of you, sometimes I think we do feel like our purpose is something that is attached to our ego, or we think we're meant to do something, and, it really is just like an ego thing. Those two cards look very similar. There's like that moon or whatever in the middle of both of those cards. And it's kind of funny that the time is warped on the purpose card as well, which is definitely popping into my head. It's like some of you might be, it's almost like you are saying to yourself, like, I should have had this much sooner, or it's like, I don't know how to say that. It's like you think that you should have accomplished something much sooner or whatever. And that might be true, but, at the same time, I think that this is about accepting the universe's time. The universe doesn't have time. The universe doesn't wear a watch, as I always say. Like, things happen when they're supposed to happen. So I think, like, the more you can try not to, like, force things to happen, the better things will be. I'll tell you, like, I was stuck in my, I always tell a story. I was stuck in my room for like 4 years after a big business failure I had when I was younger. And it used to piss me off that I would put all this effort into, like, getting something to work. And the harder I try, the less it would work. And I used to say to my mom all the time, I'm like, I'm trying so hard to get this to work and it's not working. And she used to say to me all the time, you're trying too hard. That's why it's not working. And that used to piss me off even more, right? But you know what? It was true. And so, again, as someone who is dominated by Capricorn in his chart, it's like, I think Capricorn has that, strong drive, obviously, and, really wants to, force their way through things. But I think this is about, instead of like trying to force things, can you get into alignment and allow, get into that energy of allowing? I think the less you force, the easier things are going to be. You have the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Six of Pentacles. Again, Two of Swords, as far as a challenge is concerned, is not seeing that there are other ways to do things. Again, we have the Eight of Swords here. I look at the Two of Swords as very similar. She has this new island behind her, but she is thinking this or that. She's only thinking from a limited perspective, and she actually has no perspective because she's wearing a blindfold. So she can't even see all the options that exist for her, or all the opportunities, that could lead to, like, in a new direction for her. So she has to open up to, like, other ways of doing things. She also needs to trust her intuition. The blindfold can say that she is not trusting her intuition, and she needs to open up to that superpower of her intuition that she has. So I think, that's like one thing you could do. The Five of Swords is about knowing when to walk away. And so I think that a challenge that you could be facing is walking away from something that maybe isn't working in your life, or isn't working how it used to, which is really is the message that I was getting right here, is that, it's like something isn't working like it used to. And I'm a big believer in, like, evolve or die, right? It's like a lot of things in life, it's like if we're just staying the same, then nothing is going to change. It's like, I think of YouTube. It's like, look at my channel. I'm constantly making changes on this channel. Why? Because YouTube is evolve or die. If you don't keep up with the changes, then your channel is just going to go away. And so, that's kind of the energy I get here, where it's like something in your life isn't working how it used to, like I said on the star. And I think that, innovating or being willing to innovate is going to be your trick, or the thing that gets you over this challenge. And the Six of Pentacles kind of says the same thing. Six of Pentacles, he's giving to this person, but not this person. But I always say the Six of Pentacles is about kind of planting seeds in a new direction and seeing what grows. So we have to experiment a lot. You also have the Nine of Wands in this diagonal right here. The Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So we have a lot of innovative energy. Even the star is Aquarius, which is innovation. So I think for you, Capricorn, that innovation is not necessarily a challenge, but I think it's something that could help you overcome challenges that you are dealing with. I also think that like what you're giving to could be like a tiny challenge. I don't really feel this is like a big challenge for you, but if you're giving, I just would, I would just look at everything you're giving energy to and just saying, is it worth it for me to give energy to this person, place, or thing or not? And if it's out of balance, I would say it's not, and I would cut whatever that is out of your life. With the Two of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. So, whenever a card repeats itself, it's basically the universe just saying, I meant what I said. With the Five of Swords, you have the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant, so this makes perfect sense with the astrology. We have Neptune and Pisces right now, and Neptune and Pisces is a direct challenge to traditional belief. Like, we all have things in our life where we think, this thing should go this way, right? And the challenge with the Hierophant would be those types of beliefs where you think like I did with work. My belief at the time was that if I work my fingers to the bone and I put 100 hours of work into something in a week, that it should just work, right? That was my belief, but obviously it wasn't true. So, the Hierophant says, what do you believe to be true? And is it actually true? Or is there another way that you could do things and be more efficient? And that's what I would be looking at here with the Hierophant is like how, and especially with this Six of Pentacles and also this Purpose card with a clock on it, I would be looking at like how you use your time. I just read an article. It was talking about something about like founders of companies that make billions of dollars. And like the average was like 35 hours a week that these people work, that these people that have, billion-dollar companies and things like that. So they don't actually work that much harder than normal people. They just use that time wisely and they're focusing on the things that work, right? And so I think that's what the Hierophant is trying to say. It's trying to say that like in all areas of your life, are you spending your time wisely, or are you just putting a lot of work into something just because you think you have to work hard, right? With the Six of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords. This has been a message for you all year, 2024. And yes, I know this is for 2025, but this is something I would pay attention to. I think a lot more. It's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like you are at 40%. It's like there's like another, it's like maybe what you're putting out into the world is like 40% of what you know. I think that if you really think about it, and even if you just use like 70% of what you know, that you're going to be off to the races. Things will really be improving for you significantly. So I think this is about saying like, look at the actions you're taking, the things that you're doing. Are you really using your knowledge and your wisdom? Or are you kind of just barely trying? I don't know. I'm not calling you out here, Capricorn, but, I think that, if you really sit down and think that there's a lot that you know about life and you need to use that knowledge and wisdom. Next in your outcome row for the good stuff, you have this butterfly spirit says transformation is beautiful. You have this antelope spirit says life is speeding up. So your first card in this row is the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords would definitely say that things are speeding up. So you could be having like some sort of rapid transformation, and it could be leading to like a victory or a big win. You have the Knight of Swords, again, things speeding up, things happening faster. I don't really feel very much here on this Knight of Swords. Again, I think it's just saying that things are speeding up, or, you're progressing faster, which is obviously a good thing. You have the World. The World is an accomplishment or an achievement. The World is also your card, Capricorn. So whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. So you could be really standing out. I would be like, again, the reading is saying like, don't work too hard. But I also feel like it's saying don't hold back. And so what I mean by that is like, I think it's a time of efficiency for Capricorn, and I would make sure it's like, the right things to do. There's like a saying, there's a saying that I am going to butcher, right? Which I think it's like, slow is smooth, smooth is fast is a saying, I think, right? And so I think it would be better for you to like slow down whatever you're trying to accomplish and really take your time, because I actually think that's where the speed will come from. And, I think the World is also encouraging you to, like, it's saying you're going to accomplish your goal, but, I would kind of like really, there's something about your knowledge with that King of Swords. Like it's like maybe there are things that you're skipping over with whatever you're trying to accomplish, and I would pay attention. You have the Hangman. So again, the Hangman is very good in the good stuff because it would say you're finally moving forward. The whole entire good stuff row here kind of says that you're finally making progress, or you're finally feeling like you're moving forward, which of course is a good thing. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is normally about regrets or sadness, but again, in the good stuff, it would say that you are focusing on the right things. He needs to focus on these two cups, and then he gets the bridge and the castle. And again, showing up in the good stuff, this could definitely say that you are turning around, which is a good thing. With the World, you have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is stability. I feel good about this because, again, this could say that you are improving your wealth or you are creating more stability in your life. And so, yeah, I think you're just kind of creating more stability. With the Hangman, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles, work hard, play hard. So again, if you are working hard, I would make sure with this Two of Pentacles that you're also playing hard. I also kind of feel that sometimes the Two of Pentacles can represent a choice or a decision that you could be making. And so if you have been waiting to make a decision with the Hangman, you could finally be making a decision. You have the Staff card. It says you will be taken care of in difficult times. So Nine of Wands, he is leaning on that staff. We have the Nine of Wands to the Star. One of my favorite people of all time, Les Brown, he says, during the tough times, your rod and your staff will be what comforts you. And basically what he's saying is that, during the hard times, like when you're trying to accomplish something, your reason why you want to do something will be what comforts you during those difficult times. The Star is all about having a reason why you want to accomplish something. So I think if you don't have a reason why, then I would come up with one because I think that's what will comfort you when you feel like giving up. You have this Archway card. It says new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. I really do get this energy for you. I think I said this in one of your last readings as well. That if you feel like you haven't been getting the opportunities or haven't been having the options to, kind of like move forward, I think you're finally getting those opportunities. You have this Young Woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a younger woman. You also have this Whale. It says great worry over nothing. So I kind of feel like this could be you. And it's just saying, even if you're a man, doesn't matter. I think this could just be saying the person I'm reading for is worrying about things that aren't going to happen. So I would let your fears go. You have this Dogs card. It says getting together with friends. It is an amazing time to socialize and to get support from the people around you. So I highly recommend it. You have this Vine card. It says seek out information that will help you. So again, learning. Pretty much every single person in these January readings has had something about education or learning something. So if you're stuck, I would just learn about whatever you're stuck with, and that will set you free. Really good reading here, Capricorn. I actually really like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.